What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescast now, episode 88. I'm Alex. This is our conversational gaming show. This is the bonus episode of Gamescast now for the month of June. This is our gaming show where I talk about really all things gaming. And for the summer months, for June, for July, and even August, I'm going to be talking about a lot of the games that were and weren't at E3 2019. Kind of go over the status of a lot of these big games and a lot of games that I have a lot of interest in. I've made videos of in the past. Now, one of those games is Bioshock 4. I made a video a long time ago talking about Bioshock 4. Leading into E3, I made another video, a second video, talking about if we'll get a Bioshock 4 announcement at E3. And here we are now, post E3, kind of doing that recap, like I said, and no Bioshock 4, no announcement. So I want to kind of talk about what's the status, the state of Bioshock 4. And, you know, I really feel like it's just shrouded in mystery, and it's in line with all the other videos I've made. If you guys are new to the channel, you know, make sure you guys subscribe and hit that bell icon, but also make sure you guys check out the past videos I made, because I've talked about a lot of these games that have the same theme, not, you know, they're not the same game, but a lot of the same themes as Bioshock 4. I talked about the Warner Bros. Batman Arkham game. I talked about Rocksteady's game. I talked about Harry Potter Magic Awakened. And all of these games have a pattern and a theme of they don't get announced, and it's just another year gone where they don't get announced, right? And it leads us to question where this game is in development, but also how they're going to be structuring it for the next generation of consoles. Because with every passing convention, every passing opportunity that they have to announce it, and E3 obviously is a big opportunity to announce your new game, it gets pushed further and further, and it gets pushed to the next generation of consoles. Now, I think for Bioshock, it's a little bit different because I feel like it's definitely out there in the news that Bioshock 4 is happening. It's one of the worst kept secrets, I feel like, in gaming. Same thing with the Batman Arkham game, say, at Warner Bros. There's just been a lot of stuff. There hasn't been a lot of leaks in terms of what the game is about. We know it's another Bioshock, and we know it's being made by 2K Games. We know that obviously Ken Levine is not part of the project, so we know like those kind of things, but we don't know anything about it. But it's definitely out there that they are 100% making a Bioshock game, and it's a very, very secret, you know, team doing it. It also seems like they're making a lot of progress on it, which leads me to believe that this is an early next generation game. The question is, again, is how close do you have it paired with the next generation consoles? Next gen comes out in fall of 2020. So, you know, how close does a Bioshock 4 make it onto that? Is this a fall of 2020 game? I truly don't believe so, because I feel like when it comes to Bioshock, we're going to get pieces along the road, and it's going to be kind of a long road. I do see this game being announced in 2020. I feel like we're going to have to wait, you know, another full year to even know that this game exists. And, you know, a problem, again, that Bioshock has and a lot of these games have is you can't really show all that much about it if it's a next-gen game, because you're waiting on Sony and Microsoft. And it's a problem I think Harry Potter Magic Awakened has. I think it's a problem the Rocksteady game has, because I think Rocksteady, if you're making a game for 4 years like Rocksteady has, you have to have something. You can show us something. They showed us something for Kingdom Hearts 3 when the game just had started development. Okay, so you can make something to show us that you're making it. And they don't. And I think it's because it's next-gen and they have a lot of things they want to show us on next-gen, but you really can't, because Sony hasn't talked about PS5 all that much. Microsoft hasn't talked about Xbox Scarlet all that much. I think for Bioshock, it's even more so, because I don't think there's a question in anybody's mind. When you think Bioshock 4, if you know like the rumors and you know that they're making it, I think you think next gen, that there's not a chance in this world that that game comes out on current gen over the next 12 months. I think when it came to the Warner Bros. Batman Arkham game that's rumored or leaked, you know, Arkham Crisis, Arkham Insurgency, those kind of games, I feel like it was a thing in the back of people's heads where this game could come out in 2019. This game can come out early 2020. It's possible, you know, because they've been working on games for like 6, 7, 8 years that it's possible it can happen. But Bioshock, when you think of that, it's like, okay, this is a next generation game. The question is how soon, and I feel like it's sooner than a lot of people think. I feel like this is a game that can come out within the first year, within, you know, by fall or holiday 2021. I feel like we'll get the next Bioshock game. And I feel like in a normal, you know, if this was just part of the current gen console, you know, generation, if this was part of the cycle and we were in the middle of it, I feel like we would have probably gotten something from a lot of these games so far. But because it's not coming out for another, say, 2 years, again, that's not a problem for some games. Again, we got like The Last of Us Part 2. We got that announcement like 2 years ago, and here we are, and the game will probably come out 3 years after we first heard about it. And that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time in between when we first saw it. So, and a lot of things can change in that time. A lot of technology upgrades can be made in that time. But you can still show us it because, you kind of know this game is coming out on this system. There's no chance it's going to jump. So we can show you some stuff, but make you guys wait. For Bioshock, it's, it could be 2 years away. It could be 3 years away. And I bet you they can throw together a teaser trailer like we got for Infinite, when you're flying up into the sky, or you start in Rapture and you do all that. They could probably give us that trailer right now, tomorrow. They could release a trailer with that. I'm sure they have something like that. I'm sure you could probably play the game in some state right now. Not fully. It's not even in alpha. It wouldn't even be in pre-alpha. But, I'm sure we could play some of it. Like, they could even play it. But you can't really do that because, again, you have to wait for the next generation of consoles to be talked about. Again, if this was a normal thing, we probably would have heard about it, but it's not. So Bioshock is in that very, very interesting spot where it's like we don't know all that much about it, and we really won't know all that much about it for a while, and I feel like another full year seems like a good place to start. I feel like next year, when really all eyes are on the next generation of consoles, we're going to see a lot of these games come out of the woodworks that we thought were happening. We're going to see a lot of games that we didn't even know developers were making come out and be like, yeah, we've been making this for a couple years. We've partnered with, whoever. We've been working with Sony. We've been working with Microsoft on the next generation of consoles. You're going to hear that line so many times, and you're going to see so many games just come out that you didn't even know existed, or we thought existed, and we'll finally be able to see them. And I feel like they're just kind of all waiting on each other, and they're all waiting on Sony and Microsoft. That's why, when I heard what Microsoft, the conference got leaked early of what they were going to talk about for the next generation consoles, it was very little, and it turned out to be true. They really didn't talk about next gen consoles all that much. And Sony, they've talked actually quite a bit about it in terms of like interviews, in terms of like corporation meetings, but they haven't shown it off, right? It hasn't really been shown. I kind of want to see it. I mean, I know it's a year and a half away. I know we're not going to get anything until kind of spring of next year we'll start to see stuff, but I really cannot wait for that because it's not only the excitement of seeing the next generation of consoles, but it's also like, well, we can finally see these games that have been being made for these next generation consoles that can't really show anything right now. 2019 is a very, very weird year. I think 2020 is going to be really exciting. I think it's going to have a lot of games early on in the year and then kind of completely trail off, but we're going to hear about so many games coming out within the next year, the second half of 2020 and into 2021. That's really what next year is going to be all about, and I truly believe Bioshock 4, or whatever they call it, I don't think it's going to be called Bioshock 4. It could just be a reboot. They could just call it Bioshock. I'd be fine with that. I think that is one of those games that we'll end up seeing. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think's going on with this Bioshock game? When do you think it's going to get announced? When do you think it's going to get released? And what do you think the game is about in general? Let me know. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And again, these Gamescast topics air on our channel all the time, every other week, and we talk a lot about gaming. So if you guys are new, make sure you guys stay tuned because, when Bioshock 4 does get announced, or whatever this Bioshock game is, we will be covering it quite a bit. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.